rescue Op. Save the dinosaurs from an island that's about to explode. What could go wrong?
Welcome to Fallen Kingdom. We'll return to Jurassic World 1 minute at a time. I'm Brad.
I'm Dave.
And in this episode we're discussing minute 34 of Fallen Kingdom. Before we get to that, David, heading over to Jurassic-Pedia.com briefly, we've got an article up here for the Eurocopter EC635, which was a modified helicopter for Dominion. Again, more iconic vehicles being added to the Jurassic franchise, and that helicopter was certainly something that stood out.
Yeah, there was a kind of a really unique looking helicopter, which is why I imagine they probably used it. It was, I think it was one of the newer things that, or newer, not models, by I guess designs of helicopter that are out a little bit more different from the ones we're used to seeing in movies, which kind of makes it look a little bit more futuristic.
Mm. Yep, especially with Bison being sort of on the edge of technology in that as well. Of course, they're going to have some futuristic vehicles, well, for the helicopter at least. We'll talk about the Jeeps next week. So yeah, brief little article here. It's interesting. There's since the films were released, the helicopter and Giganotosaurus playset have come out, and I remember, or rumours that there was going to be some sort of a not an aerial battle, but the animal's going to attack the helicopter when it come into with Kalia flying it, but we never actually got that in the film.
Well, we sort of got it. It's the Quetzalcoatlus attacked the plane rather than the helicopter, but yeah, I remember getting footage of when Jurassic World first came out. It was of the helicopter attack when Masrani, and these were leaked images that I think they were VFX images of the helicopter being attacked, and somebody had photoshopped images of the Jurassic Park 3 Pteranodons into them attacking the helicopter.
Oh, nice.
Which is interesting because obviously somebody had seen the scene and knew what was happening in it, but didn't have access to the actual final version at the time. And
back when a lot of stuff was getting leaked off set and leaked out of the studios. So yeah, for the article here on the Eurocopter and many more, head over to Jurassic-Pedia.com.
I told you to wait for my signal! Pack your men up right now.
Dave, we're going to get into minute 34.
Sure.
Minute 34 of Fallen Kingdom opens with Owen and Blue standing in the clearing and ends with Blue pinning a merc to the ground. As we continue into minute 34, Owen tries to calm Blue. He tells her he brought her something and pulled out the little doggy treat from his top pocket. As he had, at least he's had some sort of thought about how he's going to try and coax Blue back onto his side. He's got the treat here. He's got the clicker back as well, so he's going for those familiar things. I don't know if he's just meant to distract her so Wheatley's crew can do... I know they're not supposed to do what they're about to do, but just how much of a plan he thought for this.
I kind of imagined that he was going to wing it as he does here. Just pull out the treat and hope for the best.
Yeah, and it's a genuinely funny moment in the film here where he tosses it to her and she doesn't even flinch. And then just snarls at it.
Yeah, she just kind of it just kind of bounces off her nose and she snarls at him, and
yeah,
you're like, oh boy.
A bit of comedy, bit of tension in the film here, which is warranted, not like what we get later. We'll get to. But yeah, the treat bounces off her chin to the ground and Blue just continues to snarl. Realising this angle isn't working, Owen starts backing up, his clicker back in his hand, and he starts going through the old motions. Keeps telling her that she knows him, and it appears it's starting to work on Blue. She's sort of snarling less and following him down off the car and out in the clearing. We get a real great shot here too of Owen's outstretched hand and Blue's head coming in closer to sniff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a lot of people were waiting for her to snap at his hand or something in the theater.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody was. I know I wasn't.
Yeah, well, expecting a jump scare anyway, but it wasn't a jump scare we expected because a dart suddenly appears in the back of her neck and she recoils instantly, spinning around, and her tail takes Owen's legs out as he falls to the ground. So a bit of chaos here. She's been shot by the dart and has knocked Owen to the ground as well.
Mm-hmm. I do like the motions of her kind of just like dragging her neck along the ground, trying to get it off of herself, because that honestly is very, very what I would imagine it to do. It's kind of reminds me of my dog when she gets water in her ear. She's just kind of dragging the ear along the ground, trying to get it out of there.
And unlike Eddie's darts, she did feel the prick of the dart, and it's going to take a second one and a 9mm to bring Blue down finally, which does make me wonder when Zia says these are powerful sedatives, why it's taken so long here for it to fall down. But
maybe they're not up to date.
yeah, well, I suppose powerful and dosage are two different things.
True.
Yeah. Owen angrily says to Wheatley, "I told you to wait for my signal," but I think Wheatley's in the right here. It was certain that Blue was at a calmus right there. If they'd all walked into the clearing and she'd seen the guns, she would have attacked him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if she recognised Wheatley from earlier occurrences where they'd been trying to capture her. She'd already taken two of his men, or a couple of his men, so there's bad blood there, and she would have gone after him anyway. But the mercs come into the clearing surrounding Owen and Blue. Wheatley marches him with a big smile on his face and tells him to back up now. They have what they come for. And Blue sort of shakes her head again, as you said, starting to feel the effects of the dart. She looks at Owen, and then we see a merc behind her slowly raise his gun. And Blue snarls and leaps for the merc, knocking Owen to the side. And as the minute ends, she pins him to the ground, and we get a spot of blood on the camera.
That is some nice kind of we see that Blue still recognizes at this point Owen, and still has her loyalty to him, that she sees somebody come up behind him raising a gun and immediately jumps to protect him.
Is that how you seen it? She's protecting him?
That's what I always saw it as, yeah.
Oh, okay, because I sort of look at the other side where she looks past Owen and sees this person raising a weapon when she's been hunted for a fair bit the last couple of days by Wheatley's crew, and she's not going to take any more of it. But yeah, I can see that way as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to mention the spots of blood seem to be a Colin staple. We got it in Jurassic World with the blood dropping on the camera, with the Indominus emerging from the jungle. Eco camouflage. And we get it here. I don't recall if we get it in Dominion. Something
we probably do at some point. I'd have to rewatch it more though.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. So I'll keep an eye out for that. But that's the end of the minute itself. In the novel comparisons, in the novel, Owen holds up a tasty rat by its tail. Makes sense, as that's probably what she was been eating on the island over the last 4 years, and that's what Owen was feeding her back at the raptor pen as a treat. So the rat makes sense, and not the little scrap of meat or whatever it is, jerky.
It always kind of look like either beef jerky or like a strip of like rib meat or something. It doesn't. It looks edible, but it doesn't look like it's like it has bones in it or anything.
I don't know. Owen would seem like the person that just have a pocket of jerky that he can chew on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, whether he's given some to Blue in the past, I don't know. But Blue sniffs the rat but doesn't take it. Owen thinks to himself, this might not work, and if she doesn't take the rat, what am I going to do? Blue comes closer, now seemingly remembering the rat as a treat. Owen lifts it high. Come on, girl, that's it. Owen was about to drop it into her mouth when Funker Trent slammed into her flank. So, same sort of setup there as what we get in the novel. But, Dave, I think that's it for minute 34. Anything else before we get heavy for the week?
No, I think we're good.
All right, lovely.